Greetings and welcome back to the Galley of the Sun. So, McDonald's is a fast food juggernaut. And their flagship meal is the Big Mac, which was introduced in 1967. In 2021, over 1.2 billion Big Macs were sold. So we're not going to make 1.2 billion Big Macs today, but we're going to make at least 12 on camera, and then I'm going to make another 12. But they're going to be sliders. So let's get going. First thing, 2 pounds of ground beef. Now, you know us, we're going to use aged ground beef. And all of the amounts are down below in the description. So into the bowl with that. Along with that goes a ½ cup of breadcrumbs. Regular. You can use Italian if you want, spice it up a little bit. Some salt and pepper, and some garlic powder. Now we're going to mix all that up. So what's going on right now is my oven is heating up to 425 degrees Fahrenheit. Should be about perfect timing once we're done with this. All right, meat's all mixed. Wash the paws. So this next step is not necessary. If you go to the store and you get a regular bunch of 12 rolls, then you just use a standard size baking sheet for this next step. But the director decided to throw me a curveball. She went to Costco and got 2 packages of 16 rolls each for a total of 32. So I felt this step was necessary. If you're going to ratio this out and make those 16 like that, then what you want to do is get your rolls down and then figure out, you're going to end up with 2 patties of meat, right? So you need double the space for the meat patties. So my rolls here are covering about half of this baking sheet. This one's the same size, so that's going to be the perfect size to make my patties. So we take our meat mixture now onto the baking dish. We're going to smush that out in an even layer to make a beautiful meat sheet. I love saying meat sheet. All right, got my meat sheet, no holes, goes all the way to the edge. Now we're going to pop that into the oven. This is going to cook for about 13 to 15 minutes. All we're trying to do is get rid of all the pink. The oven is still coming up to temperature. Now we do probably the most difficult and intimidating portion of this entire recipe. So you've had a Big Mac before. It's got a bottom bun, it's got a top bun, it's got a middle bun. So if you've made sliders before, and there's a ton of variations, we've already done a ham and cheese slider, there's Philly cheesesteak sliders, there's French dip sliders, the possibilities are endless. But with those, you just take this whole batch, cut it in half, you got your top bun and bottom bun. But the Big Mac, like I said, has 3 buns. So we got to cut this into thirds this way. So be patient, get a good bread knife, some good serrations on there, and then make your first mark and then back and forth, nice and easy, nice and slow. Check how you're doing. Okay, pressing down on the top of the rolls help to a degree. It keeps them from moving. However, you don't want to squish them either. That's just going to make that next cut way more difficult. Okay, cut number 1 made. And definitely not straight, definitely thicker on that side than that side. But we're going to make this work. So I think for these 3 here, I'm going to take that second one out of these, and then the other 9, we'll get those cut in half to give us our 3rd piece of bread. I didn't do that on purpose to show you that you can salvage a near disaster. There we go. It just happened. So we got that. We got that. Now the remainder of these, we're going to cut these in half. Okay. There we go. There's my top buns. All right, that came out okay. The oven's at temperature, in goes the meat sheet. Meat sheet. Now, the other thing besides the 3 buns and 2 patties that make a Big Mac is the special sauce. That's what we're going to make now as we're waiting for our meat sheet to cook. So, in first goes mayo. And as I said, the amounts are down in the bottom. Next, just regular old yellow mustard. It doesn't have to be old, just not stone ground or anything crazy like that. Next, dill relish, not sweet relish, dill relish. Garlic powder, onion powder, paprika, salt, and a little bit of white vinegar. And we'll get that all mixed up. All right, looks good. Oh yeah, that screams Big Mac. Now, the meat's a-cooking, so now we're gonna prep our buns. Got a couple tablespoons of melted butter here, and I'm just going to paint these nice and pretty, nice and even. The bottoms, the middles, and the tops. A pro tip for you, when you go to cut the buns in thirds, well, when you're at the store planning this meal, try and find the tallest ones you can. That's going to make your life easier. Now we have all of the buns slathered in butter. We're going to get a little bit of sesame seeds here. Sprinkle those on top of our top buns, just like Ronald makes them. All right. I'm happy with that sesame coverage. Okay, burgers are done for this phase. Let's get them out of the oven. Now what we want to do is get a layer of cheese on there. You can use American. That's just fine. I have cheddar here. That's what I'm going to use. And I would say it takes about 10 pieces with 2 of them folded in half to cover a standard size baking sheet. Okay, now this is going to go back in the oven for 1 minute just to melt the cheese. We're all covered. If there's any holes or imperfections with your burgers, that's okay. The cheese is going to cover it. Alrighty, cheese is good and melted. Now we got to jack that oven up to broil. Now in goes our buns for 30 seconds. All right, the masses are hungry, so we're going to do this right here. I got my buns. Let's build some Big Macs. So the bottom buns go down. First, a layer of special sauce. Oh, and it's special. Next, a layer of shredded iceberg lettuce. Good. It's important to have salad with your meal. Next, we're going to get some diced onions on there. All right. Now, half the meat sheet. Next, the middle layer. And we repeat. Special sauce, shredded iceberg lettuce, onions, second half of the meat sheet. I will never tire of saying that, and I'll probably never grow up either. Now, a dill pickle on each one, should take 12. And then we top with our top bun. And voila, there you go, you have it. Big Mac sliders. All right, now, the best way to get these apart, dough knife. So just right along the top, down through. Get those two, and those two. There is some weird cat stuff going on around me right now. All right, moment of truth, let's give it a try. Look at that deliciousness. That absolutely screams Big Mac. You've got to try this. So, if you like what you saw today, please hit that like button. Down in the comments, let us know if there's something you'd like to see us make. Let us know what you think of these Big Mac sliders. Let us know if you tried them. We would love to hear it. Hit that subscribe button too. You'll find out when every one of our episodes come out. Thank you so much for joining us today. And until next time, fair winds and following seas.